The moment. I always talk about the moment with my hunting buddies all the time. When an animal's coming in, when that bull is, you thought he was gonna be 30 and then he turns and now he's gonna be 8 yards. This moment that's about to happen is gonna stay with you forever, whether you're successful or not. You're either
I can
gonna
still see the muscles
you're
flexing in his left
yeah,
front shoulder.
here he comes. Whether you don't even shoot,
Yeah.
whether you miss him or you get him, it's gonna stay with you forever. So, in the next 2 seconds, something's gonna happen to you that you know is never gonna leave. You're either gonna look at those horns and eat those steaks and just retell the story forever,
Yeah.
or it's gonna be a story of sorrow and regret and remorse that you're gonna tell everyone about the one that got away.
Oh, yeah,
But
for sure.
regardless, there's nothing you can do about it. Regardless, every step that bull takes, every time he gets closer,
Yeah.
that's never gonna leave. You're gonna talk about that bull forever. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
success story or not. And what's cool about this bull is that you got both.
I did.
You did.
You got a year of telling the story of the one that got away and how you messed up and how you just blah blah blah, right?
Yep.
And a year later, here he is. Now your story's just changed a little bit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it's still the same story. When he was walking in at 8 yards, before you let that arrow go,
Yes.
you're committed.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is going to be a lifetime memory for Brian Trainer right now, forever.
Robin Hood and Little John are walking through the forest, laughing back and forth at what the other one has to say, reminiscing this and that and having such a good time.
All right, guys, cool. Welcome back to Front of Cinder Podcast, FOC podcast brought to you by our boys at Rucklist. They're out there helping you make sure you got all the things you need and nothing that you don't when you're going into the woods. I'm Brian Trainer. We got my brother Bubba here,
How's it going, guys?
and we got Joe Bradley here.
How you doing, guys? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, bud. It's really cool. As you were coming in, Joe, I was thinking a little bit about just that whole saying of like, if you want to be really great at something, put yourself around people that are better. People have done more than you. And I was like, this is easy. Like Joe's definitely got a lot for me to learn. You know what I mean? I've got a smattering of things I've been able to hunt, but nothing compared to what you've done. And so um, I was introduced to you through the CBA. You've done some writing there. Our buddy, mutual friend Matt, introduced us. And so would you mind just giving us a little bit of your background to how we got in this room together and what you've
Sure.
been up to?
Well, I grew up in Iowa.
That's getting to be a common thing we're seeing in here. There's
Yeah.
a lot of Iowa boys
lot of
hunting
Iowans.
whitetail.
You know what, man? I miss it. The Midwestern lifestyle is definitely for me. A
Yeah.
little bit simpler. I cut my teeth on rabbits and pheasants and quail. Moving out to Colorado, I realized how spoiled I was
Yeah.
on those animals. Whitetails, turkeys, um, catfish on the river, snapping turtles, frogs. It's just just a boy being a boy. A lot of
Yeah.
mud, a lot of blood, a lot of scars.
Yep.
Out all day,
Yeah.
home by the time the streetlights came on. But
Yeah.
yeah, we moved out here when I was younger. Um, Still went back every summer, um, just to visit family and whatnot. But moving out here, definitely kind of re-educated myself with a bow in my hand.
Yeah.
Colorado's got a lot of animals to offer that the Midwest don't, and so started hunting deer and elk with my dad. As a tag along more than anything.
Hmm.
Um, didn't didn't take too long to realize that bow belonged in my hand. You know, um, Something I have a passion for, something I've been successful with, and the way that I choose to hunt. I know I'm handicapping myself. I'm okay with that.
And tell us about that. Because you're shooting a traditional bow.
Yeah, I've made my own bows. The last 12 years, I've only hunted with bows that I made myself.
Right.
Prior to that was just hand-me-downs from my dad. Um, but always a recurve, few animals with a longbow, but always a stick bow, always traditional bow.
Yeah.
Make my own arrows. My sons hunt the same way. Um, it's not very many 15-year-olds, 20-year-olds in the world right now carrying around a
Yeah.
stick and a string. And my 20-year-old is drawing some premium tags. And
Right.
so, he's 20 years old, he's already had a sheep tag and a goat tag. I don't want very many people to hear that
Yeah, a
because he's
little
one of those
jealous over
he's
here, man,
oh,
for
man,
sure.
he's one of those kids we all can't stand, right? You know,
Yeah,
he
the
was
horseshoe up
he
his
was
ass.
riding 1 or 2 points, I think, after the initial 3 to get into the draw, and, I told him, I'm like, "Man, you're 20 years old. There's guys that got 20 points."
Yeah.
And so,
How's that feel? Like, he draws that tag and you're like, your whole season probably changed.
tell you what,
You
as
had
a
your own plans, and you're like, "Wait, now I have one objective this year."
yeah, it put a lot of pressure on me.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't put pressure on him because truthfully, he didn't even know he was putting in for goat all those years. Like
Yeah.
at 12 years old, you can start putting in for, as a for big game tags in Colorado. So 12, 13, 14, 15, build up his points. Now he's 20 and I call him on the phone, he lives in his own apartment, making his own money, doing his own thing. I'm like, "Hey man, you drew your goat tag. We're going goat hunting."
Yeah.
And
So awesome.
he's just like,
Okay.
"Cool, dad. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, let's go." I'm like, "Man, you don't understand. Like, this
Yeah.
is a big deal."
Yeah.
And it put so much pressure on me because, a lot of guys know who I am. A lot of guys
Yeah.
know what I'm about. And so word gets around that Joe Bradley's son drew a goat tag.
Yeah.
Now now I gotta go find a goat for him. And
Yeah.
and you know what's interesting is I drew my goat tag when I was in my 30s, and I know a lot of guys, 30s, 40s, you appreciate it more,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Him at 20 years old, he's still thinking about girls and partying and whatever he's doing. And so, it turned into a real nice hunt between the 2 of us. Like, we talked about things that we normally don't talk about. Like, he's kind of my hard one.
Yeah.
And so all my interactions with him were like, "Clean that up. Don't do this. What were
Yep.
you thinking?
Yep.
Hey, you're late. Be on time. Do this,"
That's hard as
so
a dad, right? Like, we're in that spot now too, where it's just like, I feel like every interaction is I'm busting his ass on
yeah.
something,
Mhm.
and I tell him, like, "Here's the deal, bud. I'm gonna be gone for an hour. Please, for the love of God, just clean your room, take a shower, get your stuff together,
Mhm.
and when I come home, I don't have to be that guy."
Right.
And then sure enough, he's 13.
Yeah.
He just, I don't know, his brain fries, he forgets, and he doesn't. And so it's hard as a dad to feel like you're always that guy. And so tell me about that though. So once you got up on the mountain, it let some of that go to where you guys could just be
Well,
there, or even in the process of getting ready to go on the hunt.
yeah, I mean, the common goal was goat hunting.
Yeah.
And so all that stuff outside of goat hunting didn't matter.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, he's a great kid.
Sure.
He just pushes buttons.
Yeah.
His nickname is Ballsy.
Yeah.
Everyone calls him Ballsy. No one calls him Jacob.
Really.
Yeah, teachers, bus drivers,
Yeah.
coaches, everyone knows him as Ballsy.
Has he gotten to the day where he stood up to dad yet?
Oh no, that day probably will come, but it's gonna be a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll make sure he knows that.
Yeah.
But the goat hunt was it's a unit where I shot my goat and I took my dad and he shot his goat. I knew the unit really well. The unit is not what it used to be.
Yeah.
We went from 200 goats on the goat count to like 60 in like 2 or 3 years. And
Dang.
so the goats aren't dying off, they're just moving because the adjacent units are getting more goats. So
Yeah.
they're kind of traveling back and forth. This unit gets a lot of pressure. There's a lot of um, uh, traffic from
Yeah.
hikers, and these
Yeah.
goats are eating granola bars and getting pictures taken next to a
Yeah.
bunch of people out there
That's a
bird
real thing,
watching.
man. Yeah.
And then hunting season starts, and now you got guys up there with sharp, pointy sticks, and so it's a Monday through Friday season. And what made it really nerve wracking for me was I split time with his mom.
Yeah.
And the first week, it's a 2-week season. The first week of goat season, she had a non-refundable summer vacation where she took the boys on a cruise. And so opening day goat season, I'm sitting at home waiting for my son to show up on a plane 5 days from now. And so, I was scouting. I was doing a little bear hunting for myself in Wyoming. Um, and uh, and when he showed up at the door, I'm like, "All right, buddy, we got 5 days to get this done."
Yeah.
Instead of the 10 days that everybody else had. Plus, it's a goat unit that is a rifle tag. Colorado, you can use a lesser weapon. And
Yeah.
so we get rifle tags and I will hunt with the bow.
Yeah.
And so that's how we did it. We ended up shooting a really nice goat. um, on the second day, we hunted our butts off, and
And he was 20 at the time?
he's 20. Yeah, this was 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
shit.
so
Yeah, yeah.
This
this
was
was
just
this year.
Awesome.
yeah, this was just recently,
So
and
you
then
said that when we first sat down, you said you've had a great September, which is
yeah,
that's
and
what makes it great.
yeah, I called it, when all the tags came out, I call it September to Remember,
Yeah.
just because he got his goat tag. I had a really good, bear hunt lined up in Wyoming for my youngest son and my dad. Um, that didn't work out for us as much as I wanted it to. The moon kinda made him nocturnal,
Mhm.
and then our pressure made him permanently nocturnal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of bears, a lot of action, but very little during shooting hours.
Yeah.
And then I went on my own. I finally got a hunt for myself, and I went to Montana on an elk hunt. And anybody that knows me knows that elk are they're my crush. I don't know what it is. You put me in a phone booth with an elk, and sometimes I got a great story, but most of the time it's a bad story, and I just get away. I'm a great elk hunter, but I'm terrible at bringing one home in the back of my truck.
Really?
I don't know what it is, man. Everything that has happened, anything that could happen has happened. I've had perfect setups ruined by lightning. Um, like moments before I was going to shoot the bull of my dreams. Uh, and then it turned into survival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The herd was gone, and then I had to get down. I've had arrows connect,
Mhm.
and just didn't end up where I wanted it to be. I've had spikes that I never saw, cows that I never saw behind me or barked. I mean,
Yeah.
everything that I could do. Tension on the string. I got 5 bulls in my nightmares that will forever
Yeah.
haunt me. And finally, I made it happen. And I shot my biggest bull, but a really nice bull in Montana with my best friend.
This year as well?
Yeah.
Damn,
Awesome.
dude.
So yeah, so it was, you know, um, it was September that I'll never forget.
That's
So
insane.
because my son's once in a lifetime feels
Yeah.
like once in a lifetime goat tag,
Yeah.
and then I finally, I didn't kill an elk, I slayed a dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was just such I feel like everyone in Colorado has a big bull on the wall,
Yeah.
and everybody comes to my house full of mounts, full of stories, some real cool
Uh-huh.
stuff, but there's never an elk.
You got big moose on there, 'cause I know
Uh,
you have a Colorado moose, you have an Alaska moose, I think, as well?
I got a Canadian moose,
Canadian moose, that's
Colorado
what
moose, yeah, sheep, goat, big alligators, bunch of mule deer, a bunch of whitetails,
and then you get to
mountain
your elk
lions,
wall.
yeah, you know, antelope, mule deer, bears, I got 12 bears mounted in my house. I got 7 or 8 antelope,
Yeah.
7, 8 mule deer, some nice whitetails. But that bull elk was, there's a spot on my
There's an
wall
empty spot.
with a picture of an elk with like a
Like a vision
sunset
board,
behind it.
like
Yeah.
a hunting vision board over there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I said to myself, man, I can't wait to take that picture down someday.
Yeah.
And so,
Got
so
it done.
this is it, man. I got it done. I got it done. Yeah. I actually wrote an article in the issue coming out. It's going to be coming out in November, and everyone knows I got my elk, and everyone's super thrilled because they know how hard and how bad I wanted
Yeah.
one. And the article I wrote about the elk doesn't show antlers in a bloody pack on my sweaty back. Instead, it's the day before when I sat at a wallow and I nestled in underneath this, like midday lull, super hot day, and I'm like, the elk are going to come to wallow, so I'm just going to. Honestly, I was resting my legs. The last 4 days have been brutal. We were doing 5, 7 miles a day.
Yep.
Um, and so I thought, I'm just gonna perfect night for an ambush.
Yeah.
And I'm laying underneath this log, and underneath the log there's a break in it, and there's this like perfect little bird's nest, like just protected from sun, protected from the rain, protected from predators. It was I'm like, well, what a smart little bird. And I ended up writing an article about that. About just
Nice.
the little things. I tell my boys all the time, "Hey, man, enjoy the little things until the big ones happen.
Yes.
But don't sit there like, 'Oh, I didn't see one, I didn't get one,' blah." Man, watch that squirrel. Watch how many nuts he takes into that tree before winter, you
Yep.
know? Watch these
Yep.
chipmunks fight, you
Yep.
know? Watch this hawk come out of the tree, and it just gather all the, or I guess just scare all the quail, all the chipmunks, squirrels, whatever it's hunting at the same time. Like there's so many things that we miss, you know?
Yeah.
And if you wanna if you would really want like a gut check, like a reality check, take a little kid hunting. Like sit in an antelope blind or in a tree stand with like a 10-year-old,
Yep. Yeah.
11-year-old, and just let 'em ask you questions. Like my
Yeah.
son, I'll never forget, um, the one who had the goat tag when he was 12, 13, 14. He'd sit there next to me, he's like, "Dad, why does the bird poop in the water that he's drinking?" I'm like, "Man, that's a great
That's a
question.
great
I don't
question.
know."
Yeah.
But I've never thought about it. He's
Yeah.
just sitting there watching birds at the water hole, and he's
Yeah.
like, "That bird just pooped in the water and then drank next to it." He's
Yeah.
like, "Why do you do that?" Or why are these chipmunks so mean to each other? Like,
For sure. Yeah.
like, are they boy girl or is that like a bully and that's like the
Yeah.
nerd,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
Or just like, "Hey, dad, are deer good at hills?" I'm like, "Good at hills? What the hell does that mean? Good at hills?" He's like, "Well, sometimes when I'm walking down a hill, like sometimes I have to run down it because it's real steep, and sometimes when I go up a hill, it makes my calves hurt. I got to stop and catch my breath. But deer don't stop, so
Right.
I just think they're good at hills."
They
I'm
are.
like, you know
Elk
what, man?
especially are good at
You're
hills,
right.
right? You
They're
watch
good at
those.
hills. Yeah,
Yeah.
elk are good at cliffs and
They're good at
mountains, and yeah,
you're going, they'll be up and over before I even
oh
think about
man,
moving.
elk go go go, don't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, a little kid notices things that we take for granted. Like
Yeah.
we're thinking of moon phases and wind and barometric pressure and antlers and scores and and they're just enjoying like today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
want to like get back to that. And so I wrote that article kind of about, I was sitting there, there was bear sign all on this little briar patch I was sitting in, and sure enough, a bear popped up over the ridge and kind of confirmed what I thought. And I watched a golden eagle swoop down on some turkeys and miss. And I'm like, he's hunting the same water hole I am,
Yeah.
And I felt like he was standing there. All the turkeys got away and they're putting wildly and they're going crazy. And it's like the golden eagle was like embarrassed. He was standing there and I could feel him like he was embarrassed.
He's like, I got
And I'm like,
busted
man,
on
I'm the
this one.
only one in the world that saw what just happened.
Yeah.
I won't tell anyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But and then that bird's nest. And so the premise of the article was like, I finally slayed my dragon. I finally got the monkey off my back, shot a big bull. It was amazing. And I'm so proud of the effort
Yeah.
and the
Oh yeah.
execution on this bull. I snuck up to him in his bed in the dark timber and shot him while his eyes were closed. It was beautiful. It
Oh
was it was something one of the greatest things I've ever done with my bow in my hand. I've done
yeah.
some cool stuff, but that was like the pinnacle. That was like the moment. And the article I wrote was about like what nature had to offer the day before. Cause
Yeah.
sitting there at that water hole and just kind of like seeing all the things around me, um, I didn't care if I had an elk at that moment.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so if we're missing the nest to notice the antlers, like what are we
Yeah.
really out there doing? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And this is coming from a guy that really wanted to put a set of antlers on his back. Like elk have just always gotten away from me, and it finally happened. But then I just want to be true to like what I always tell my kids, like, don't miss the little things,
Yeah.
you know? Really enjoy the little things until the big ones happen, and so that was
Yeah.
kind of a perfect little analogy, and it'll be in the next article, it'll be cool.
Well, and I think that's always just I thought a lot about hunting as just an excuse to get into the woods, right? Or to go on an adventure because I don't mind hiking when it's not hunting season, but really like
Yeah.
it's pretty hard for me to go into the woods and go, why are we here again?
Listen, man, I'm with you on that. I would never get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and hike up to this top of some knife ridge trying to get there before the sun
Yeah.
came up.
Yeah.
To
3 miles
nestle
just to
in,
get started.
yeah, waiting for the thermals to change so you can drop in this bowl, and you know what I mean? Like, you don't do that in July for no reason,
No.
right? You're
Uh-uh.
not with your girlfriend or your wife or your
Mm-mm.
friend, and you're like, "Hey, let's go sit in a cold tree stand for 10 hours,"
Yep. Yep.
right? Um, Me and my dad talk about it all the time. The bow is like the best travel agent in the world.
Dude, I read that in one of your articles and I
Yeah.
was like, this is so well put.
Well,
So
Think
well
about
put.
it. I've been in the North Pole on a dog sled.
Mm-hmm.
I've been down on the border of Mexico. I've been in Florida swamps. I've been in Alaska coastlines because of my bow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I got some
Yeah.
really cool bucket list things that have happened to me because of my bow, you know?
Yep.
I've been in dangerous situations, because of my bow.
Yeah.
Um, lightning, rock slides,
Which has
um
got everybody a little jumpy after those 2 kiddos,
yeah, man, and I
southeastern
tell you what,
Colorado, man. I mean,
I
it's
got tattoos on me that they're all personal to me, they're all stories of my life, nothing's picked out of catalog, and I drew every one myself, and if you notice, I got lightning all throughout my body.
yeah,
I had a lightning, I have a lightning story, hunting antelope, and when I finally got back to the truck, man, just thinking about it right now, I got chills thinking about it because it was just I thought I was gonna die.
really.
Yeah. Um, I was on a water hole in Wyoming, and it's later in the season, like late September, and I just didn't have nothing to hunt, and it's a doe tag.
Yeah,
I shot a bunch of does, right?
sure.
And man, that sky just kind of looked weird. And I was a mile from the truck. My truck was this big on the horizon, and I'll never forget that sky opened up. And when right before a storm, like there's a buzz,
Oh, yeah.
not like an electrical buzz that you can feel it, but like all of a sudden the birds stop chirping
Yeah,
and the little ground squirrels stop moving, and all of a sudden the air's stagnant. There's no wind, and it just feels off.
yeah. Like, it dries out right before it starts to get
Yeah,
wet. Yeah,
right. Like the
yep.
calm before the storm, they
Mhm,
call it.
mhm.
And all of a sudden, it wasn't even raining, and lightning just kind of started hitting around me,
Just
and
popping.
I'm just like, man, I'm in this little blind with carbon fiber poles. I don't even know if they conduct electricity, but I want to find out. And so
Yeah.
I grabbed all my stuff and I just got out of there.
Left the blind there, or did you pick it
Yeah,
up, take it?
left the blind because it was just one of those moments like make a decision and go now.
Yeah, yeah.
And so maybe I did the wrong thing,
I
but
think you did the right
I
thing.
left to get to the truck instead of hunker down in a low spot is probably what I should have done.
Right.
But lightning, I mean, it was coming from the ground up. I mean, it was shooting dirt clouds 20 feet in the air. It knocked me over at one point, and I just laid there, crawled to a little ditch.
What?
Yeah, I mean,
So you actually literally, like, were
it was probably 20 strikes in like a
What?
4 or 5 minute span.
Holy.
And I tell you what, man, like, like when you're a kid, you're on the playground, you throw a snowball at someone, it's funny, you throw them, you hit them in the jacket, and then they reach down, they grab snow, and you start running away. You turn around, and they're gonna throw a snowball at you,
Yeah.
so you can like feel it before it hits you, and you
Yeah.
like run, and you're like, oh, he's gonna get me, he's gonna get
Yeah.
me. It was like that the whole time. I was just waiting for my world just to go black.
What?
And I dropped everything except for my bow. I had my binoculars, my GPS, my pack, my magazines, my lunch, everything. I just gathered up everything in my pack, but in the haste of leaving,
Uh-huh.
I didn't really secure it very well. I'm running. And man, I finally get to the truck. I got to the truck and it was like I couldn't believe it. I was sweating. I wasn't crying. I wasn't bleeding, nothing. I was just full sweat. I get in the truck, I'm like, "Man, I just wanna go home. I just wanna see my kids, like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
For an antelope doe, what am I doing?"
Yeah.
And so, it started raining real bad, and then it turned to snow, and said, "Oh, I'm just gonna wait this out."
Yeah.
And it turned out not stopping, and so I ended up sleeping in my truck that night. Woke up the next morning with 6 inches of snow, and I couldn't find anything.
Oh,
'Cause, I mean,
dude.
I don't even know where I ran from to,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
you're trying to backtrack, but now there's snow on top of I mean, someone somewhere in the Shirley Basin of Wyoming
Got some
is
cool
gonna
stuff.
find some cool stuff. I'm sure there's a GPS, there's some binoculars, I mean, I went back there a week later looking for the stuff.
Yeah.
Man, it was just, lightning is no joke,
Yeah.
and those 2 boys that lost their lives, man, I couldn't imagine the fear that they had because, um, all of a sudden, you just feel so small.
Right.
Like, bears encounter, lion encounters, vehicles, cold weather, stuff like that, I can control. I feel in control of that.
Right.
Lightning is just unpredictable.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So
that's
And you're just like waiting,
yeah,
right? Like you don't,
yeah. I mean,
like you said, just waiting for it to go black. This year, obviously that story put it in. And then also the realization of like, what do you do in lightning?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what's the right answer? And so we were thinking about that a lot. And then we got into a storm and you could just see it like flickering
Yeah.
behind the clouds. And it was just like, you could feel the energy
Mm-hmm.
and you're just like, what's it going to do?
There's
You
a
just
lot of
It didn't
hunker
get
down on your
bad,
pack.
obviously,
I mean,
but
they say like get on,
Yeah.
try and climb. I mean, but I'm
Yeah.
not going to fit on a pack. I'll have to put Tyrel's pack and my pack,
Yeah.
and then Tyrel on my back, I guess.
Yeah, you'd have a hard time, buddy. You know, a lot of guys are on these chat rooms and stuff, which
Yeah, everybody's got
you
wisdom
won't
now, don't
you
they?
won't find me on those things just because I feel like the level of bow hunter on those chat rooms is like 20% knowledgeable and good and 80% clowns. But most of the clowns have all these, oh, they should have done this or they should have done that, or if it was me, I would have done this. And the truth is you don't know. They don't know what was going on. And also, um, you know, inexperience probably got those kids in a tough spot. I would say, like I told my boys, I got a little placard that I put in their pack. It's just what to do when lightning's around. Um, and it seems like those boys should have separated. You know, if someone gets struck by lightning, it's a lot different than being knocked over and like the compound of being knocked out by lightning. And it sounds like they didn't have too many burns on their body, but if they would have been able to be reached, whether one of them was 100 yards away and performed CPR on the other one, I think they would have had a chance.
Yeah.
I'm survival trained. You know, taking a lot of guys bear hunting in Canada. Been on some backcountry hunts.
Yeah.
And so there's just some training involved that you just use
Where
to
would you
protect
start,
yourself.
like, to get technical? Because Tyrell was a medic in the Army.
Mhm.
And I've always asked him, like, what are the things? And basically, for his advice, I have a tourniquet strapped to my bino harness full time with rubber bands, like they do on their kits.
Sure.
But like, you know, between the two of you, even like, what's the, you know, from that survival thing, where does a guy start?
The survival that I went through was part of a course that I took to teach Boy Scouts at the Lawn Hangler Range here in Loveland.
Yep.
The late Dennis Hansen, who the range is named after,
Mm-hmm.
he was really big in the Boy Scouts, and I helped him out on a couple classes. But part of it was I had to take a course to just go over stuff. You gotta know what you're teaching, and then also the guide school, like to be a guide in the United States or Canada. You got to go through that training class. I've actually taken the course just to see what I knew.
Right.
But there's some real valuable lessons in there too. Outside of that, you know, I know the military has some programs, and those guys are very well trained. So maybe you can speak to that.
Yeah, I mean, we got some environmental training, not enough really to like with the knowledge I think you would need to go into the backcountry like that and be on your own. So like lightning, I was never taught what you do when you're on top of a mountain and the storm rolls in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What I was told was that the burning is one thing.
Yep.
You know, actually being struck. But the percussion of the blast, something that takes your heart off a rhythm, it's easy for a lightning struck patient to regain that rhythm if there's someone around.
Yep.
To do it. Again, we're doing exactly what I'm trying not to preach.
I know.
Yep.
I know.
Is, you know, everybody's an expert.
Yeah.
After, you know, hindsight's very easy to be an expert in, right? And who knows? But the truth is, you know, those boys lost their life doing something that we love.
Yeah.
We go in the field every year. You know, they were thinking about elk and, you know, and calling home with success stories.
Yep.
Instead of being taken off the mountain by search and rescue.
Yeah.
So, you know, something to be said about that. You know, I was talking to my son about this on the goat hunt. There was a guy in that same unit years ago that had a GoPro on his head, and he got his goat. He was coming out, and he never. The last message his wife got from him was a picture of the goat saying, "Coming home tomorrow, did it, can't wait to tell you about it, blah, blah." And he never showed up. And search and rescue found him. He fell in a crag, and the GoPro captured all of it. And
Oh,
so he
wow.
he was alive for a little bit. Um, the fall, the impact killed him, but not right away.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
you know, uh, gosh, I can't stress enough. Like my hunting partners, I go with people that can save my life if they need to.
Mhm. That's why he
Um,
makes a really good hunting
yeah,
partner.
I
He
bet,
can plug
man.
holes and,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I mean, he's probably good for packing out meat, and you're probably good for
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I
for
cook it
And
and
he's a good scouter too. I'm like, "Hey, why don't you go up on top of that mountain? You tell me
Yeah.
what's up there
I
real
know,
quick."
big. Yeah, I know. I'm the same way. I'm not as big as you, but us big guys have a. I'd rather walk with my binoculars than my
For
boots.
sure. For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My binoculars do a lot of hiking for me.
Damn
yep.
right.
Um, I've used survival training in the woods multiple times. The worst for me was on a bear hunt in Saskatchewan. I had an older gentleman go down in a swamp. He was slowly walking, kind of laboring a little bit more than I wanted him to.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, come on, we gotta go, we gotta go. Like we're running late. I gotta get him into his stand, and then I was hunting behind him another mile or two down the road, and so I was kind of like, let's go, and he kept resting a lot, and that's fine. It was early in the hunt, and I was there to help, and so um, he just finally had that look on his face, like something's wrong,
Yeah.
and he went face down in the mud, and it was just me and him, and when you're in those moments, you're kind of mad that
Mhm.
no one's there. You're looking around like, why am I doing this by myself? Where's everybody at? Because in the moment you got to act, but you're trained for it. You can talk about it all day, but when that hits, like, oh, okay, this is happening.
Yes.
Um, yeah, his arm, the vein in his arm kept bulging out. The vein in his neck kept bulging out. He kept grabbing his left shoulder. Um, he took all his clothes off, and we're in a Canadian swamp. I mean, we got thermocells at head nets all day,
Yep.
and now I'm looking at this guy, didn't know him very well, and he's laying naked in front of me because he's so hot, he's sweating. He's like, I can't. And the mosquitoes and the black flies are just all over him. And I'm just looking at him like, God, that's got to be uncomfortable. He didn't care. He was just, and we're in the swamp, and so I started gathering logs. Like, if I got to do CPR on this guy, I I'm just gonna bounce him up and down on this muskeg.
Yeah.
Um, Long story short, we got through the ordeal. He started talking to me about widowing his wife, and she's already been widowed once before, and he just wants to get home and see his grandkids and blah blah blah. And I'm looking at him like, why am I the one here with you? Like if these are his
Yeah.
last final words, I just met him
Yeah.
not too long ago, right? And so you're like, don't talk that way. We're gonna get through this, blah blah blah. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna die in front of
He's
me.
gonna die on you.
And so I had to act. And so I kept him. I gave him baby aspirin, water, and got him to like an upright position. He started getting like vomity, and so like he would go into the recovery position, kind of prone over on his right side, so he could vomit. Get him back against a tree, and I'm like, I can't just stay here with him. I gotta go get help. Um, so I had a phone that worked at the top of the hill. I knew it would work at the top of the hill, but that hill wasn't a mile away. And so I left him here and I thought I'm going to come back to a dead body. But this is our only chance. Like
Yeah.
I can't sit here and watch him die. I need
Yep.
to at least make a move. And so I did, man. I got I covered that mile in a time I could never cover that mile again.
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like you're on adrenaline,
Yep. Yep.
And so I got we got Flight for Life there. And we got guys coming from camp to help. We got him back to the main cabin right when Flight for Life showed up, and I'll never forget the EMT. She's a big girl, Like she was like
She's like my
Brian
size.
Trainer size. I'm like, if I'm in a burning
She grabbed him
building,
with one arm and
yeah,
threw him in
I
the
want her
for sure.
to come get me
Yeah.
out, right? Like she just looked like she's done this before, and she started asking questions. They put them on the backboard. They're putting them on the helicopter, and she's like, "Has he had anything to eat or drink in the last hour?" And I said, "I gave him aspirin." She said, "You gave him aspirin?" I said, "Yes, I gave him baby aspirin." She said, "Aspirin, not Tylenol." I said, "Yes, aspirin." She said, "You just saved his life." Close the door, gone. And I tell you what, man, that helicopter, when it left and you couldn't hear it anymore,
Yeah.
it got real lonely in camp. Like it got real quiet. Like everyone just looked, no one said a word. There was 7, 8 of us.
Hmm.
Everybody just looking at each other. Like the fires that night, the fires for the rest of the week, the breakfast, the lunches, it was just solemn because no one knew what happened, right? This
Yeah.
was day 1 of a 7-day hunt. And so now you're just gathering your thoughts. You're just thinking, and then you start thinking about your kids.
Oh.
You start thinking about life, like what would happen if it was me? What should I have done differently? You know, I'm gonna cut out fried foods and Mountain
Yeah,
Dew, and
yeah,
I'm gonna start eating
no more French fries,
right?
no more
Like,
nothing. Yeah.
like I'm done. Like this
Yeah.
was the wake up call I needed, right?
Yeah.
But the best remedy was just to go hunting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like we're here. Like the float plane's coming to pick us up in a week. So we're here.
Right.
Okay. And like the nature just becomes like your church. It becomes like your
Always.
sounding board. Like
Yeah.
I've solved all the world's problems in my head in a tree stand.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, it's just been that for me. And that trip, it really solidified like what hunting means because
Yeah.
you had nothing left to do but hunt.
Yeah.
And the week was over. I shot a bear that I'll never forget the hunt. I mean, it started raining. I sat in the rain for like 8 hours. Shot the the bear right before dark. I'm like, you couldn't have came in at 8 hours ago,
Yeah.
right? Like you made me sit through this the whole
Yes.
day and
Was it
10
brown bear or
minutes
black
before.
bear?
It was a black bear. It was
Yeah.
a black bear hunt in Saskatchewan.
Nice.
But I look at that mount. I made a rug. I shot a real pretty tan bear, the color of that deer hide. Just a beautiful light brown bear. And every time I see it, I think about, I need to redo my CPR training.
Yes.
I need to check my pack. I want
Go
to
ahead,
see what's
baby.
in. I want to see what's
Yep.
in my in my
that
first
got me
aid
thinking
kit.
because
You
like
know?
my bino harness sort of lives like my emergency kit as well,
Okay,
right?
sure.
So it kind of lives
Yeah.
with that stuff within it. Cause I always figure, I don't know if it was you, like at some point it told me like, be ready to kind of self-rescue, right? Like that's a big piece of it too. If I'm alone and I cut,
Oh yeah.
I cut my leg, can I put a tourniquet on here?
Mhm.
And some of that, but that's an interesting thing to think to like add the baby aspirin to the bino harness and some
Yeah.
of those basics of,
And be honest with you, I put that in my pack years ago because my dad. My dad, he smokes.
yeah.
He wasn't in the greatest shape. Uh, he goes in waves where he's in good shape and he goes to the gym, and then the holidays hit and we all kind of get lazy,
Yeah.
right? And so I'm just like, if I ever had to take my dad off on my back,
Yeah.
and so I got like straps for like rescuing the Marines use straps over their back around people's torsos. And
Mhm.
so it's all like all the weights on your hips and like lower back instead of high on your back
Yeah.
and shoulders. I got one of those in my kit. The baby aspirin, everything that could go wrong, I feel like I would be able to take care of.
Yeah.
And it worked out on that trip. I still get Christmas cards from his wife
Oh, I'm sure.
Good.
with
Yeah.
pictures of him and their grandchildren.
Good.
And so that's something where that's real. It's not about hunting anymore.
No.
You know what I mean? Like it could have been in a Walmart parking lot, right?
Yep.
But the fact that you are 6 hours from the nearest paved road up in the middle of nowhere in, with wolves and bears and mosquitoes. And I mean, it's just, uh, I'm glad we got through it. I'm glad it happened. But
Yes.
man, I don't ever want to do that again. You know what I mean? It's just such an emotional, draining, mentally draining situation. And again, it's because of my bow.
Yeah.
Like the bow and arrow it puts us in some unique atmospheres, right? Like
Yeah.
on the back of a dog sled in negative 48 degrees is the coldest it got. That was just the temperature. That was just the forecast. I don't know what the wind
Right.
or the wind from a dog sled
Yeah. And that was, you were
added
hunting,
to
was
it.
that your muskox?
Mm-hmm.
And where were you at for that?
In the North Pole, like
Oh, yeah,
up
yeah.
above the Arctic Circle in Nunavut, Canada. And so I actually got a map of North America in my house with pins of all the places I've been. That's the very top one.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
easy.
so
Yeah.
cool.
You don't get any further, right?
It's so cool. And in that way of life up there, man, nothing but respect for the Inuit people.
Yeah.
Like they don't know what pizza tastes like. They don't know what it's like to pick up the phone and order a pizza.
The convenience of,
Like,
of
we're-
calories that's down here. Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, my only opinion, not yours, not the next guy, but my opinion is we're so soft. Like we
Oh,
are so
1000%.
soft. You go into that environment and with those the people that live in that village, old age is 40. A
Yeah.
13-year-old kid is smoking and he's got a full beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they are just the toughest people. I mean, you better be a professional snowmobile mechanic if you
Yeah.
want to survive up there. You go 20 miles to your hunting grounds and you break down, you're not walking back. I mean, it's frostbite within minutes of
Yeah.
of open skin. And we went to the little market. It's like reminded me of like a little Amish store that I've seen in Iowa before where everything's just in plastic bags with the price written on them. Nothing's like commercialized. There's no mac
Right.
and cheese, right, in a box.
Yeah.
It's like hand rolled noodles in a Ziploc bag with directions on how to make mac and cheese. Like this is like just a community market. And so they have shopping carts and registers and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a little grocery store, but it's not like a commercialized grocery store. So we were stuck in town for 3 days because of bad wind. So now we're in this little Eskimo town, Inuit town, with nothing to do. So I bundled up and I just started walking around, seeing stuff. There's a gas station, there's a little market there, and this lady comes in, and she was noticeably just like bundled up. So she takes off her first jacket, she puts it in the cart. She takes off her second jacket, puts it in the cart. And she's got this like, I want to call it a swaddle, but it looks like a Miss America beauty pageant sash.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she takes it off her neck and she unties it and she unrolls it and a baby comes out.
Yeah.
And she puts this like 6-month-old baby on her jacket, covers it up with the next jacket, and she smiles at me and waves, no teeth. And she just waves and just pushes her shopping cart and gets her seal oil and her whale blubber and all the stuff that
Right.
they sell in the store. And I'm looking at my buddy. I'm like, "Did you see that? Like that? I mean, it's like when you like snap someone in the locker room with a
Yeah.
towel, just like spin it
And this
snap.
little baby's in there.
Oh
like
my gosh! I'm
sucking
like
for
that baby had
oxygen.
that baby had to be like so dizzy,
Yeah.
right? And so then we watch her. She leaves the store and same thing. Picks up the baby, puts in this thing, kind of like ties this weird little knot at the top of it, spins it real fast, puts it around
Throws it
her,
around.
ties it. She puts her coat on, puts the other coat on, gets out, gets on her snowmobile, drives away. I'm like, that is a tough woman,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Like she's probably gonna make like caribou stew for her family of 8.
Yeah.
Right. And like, man, what a cool thing to see.
Yeah.
Like, man, like we DoorDash. My son DoorDashes Burger King, and it's a half mile from our house,
No
right?
doubt.
Yeah.
I'm like, we are so lazy and
Yes.
spoiled and
Yep.
soft.
Yep.
We are.
Because those, I mean, when they get vehicles, it only comes on a ferry in August and September. It's the only time they can bring any goods into the community. And so, like, someone orders they got computers up there. You know, someone
Yeah.
orders a Dodge,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
crew cab,
Yeah.
3/4 ton, and it shows up on a boat 9 months later. You know what I mean? Like, oh, my truck's here.
My truck.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
going. Like, it's, you know, like snowmobile parts and fuel and all
Yeah.
stuff, because that sea ice is, I mean, I shot my muskox on the ocean.
Yeah.
Like, my pin on Onyx
is out in the ocean.
is in the water.
Yeah.
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 You know, in the summer months, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's just it's an environment.
How is that hunt, man? I mean, I've only seen videos
Yeah,
of, I mean, it's kind of a trip because it's all white.
I know where you're going with this, and I tell everybody. and
I
I'll be
don't
the
actually
first
know
one
if
to
I
say,
know where I'm going. I'm not smart enough to know
Okay.
where I'm going.
Well, I'll tell you,
I want to hear, like,
it's an adventure.
yeah,
It's not much of a hunt.
kind of like moose hunting is.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that, because moose hunting, man, moose hunting has its caveats, but
Right.
muskox, there's nowhere for them to go.
Right.
As soon as you see them, they're on. You know, like, we traveled 4 hours on a snowmobile to finally find this herd.
Yeah.
And once you find them, you kill them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know how to
Mhm.
explain it any
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
They're not going to run over the next ridge. They're not going to get into the thick bedding area, right?
Yeah.
They're not, you know,
There's no place to go.
there's
They're on
nowhere
the
for them to
ocean.
go.
Flat.
And so, and they're also, it's also March in
Yeah.
the North Pole. And
Yeah.
so they're not going to expand a whole lot of energy. And so
Yeah.
they just make like a, you know, and so, you know, some hunts they run them down with machines. Some hunts you can they'll get up in the cliffs and you can stalk them, you know, stuff like
Mhm.
that. But there's nowhere for them to go, and so
Yeah.
I ended up shooting. So we found a group of 8 bulls, all mature bulls, and I'll never forget getting close to it. You know, we got off the sleds and got everything ready. I'm like, man, I've never seen a muskox before. This is epic. Like, this is awesome. Like, look at this thing, right? And it took me a while to get close. I got probably 20 yards, and I'll never forget the arrow hit right behind the shoulder. And he didn't even flinch. He didn't even move. But air came out of the hole. Like
Yeah.
his, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you
Like,
could
you
see
shot
it.
him in the lungs. And when he breathed, his exhale came out of his nose, but also out of the hole that I put in him. And he turned around and started walking the other way. And so I put another one right next to the other. I mean, I just had 2
Other
arrows,
side. Yeah.
both behind both shoulders, and it was very anticlimactic for me.
Yeah.
Everything up into the hunt was great. It was an
Right.
adventure,
Right.
but those animals are in an environment where they can't go nowhere. Like in Greenland, when you hunt them in the fall, you know, you're hunting them in t-shirts, and you know, they can, you know, they're in the tundra, they're in the rocks, they're, you know, they're a little bit
Yeah.
more like hunting caribou or something like that.
Yeah.
But up there in that environment, it was more about the experience and the
Yeah.
adventure.
The adventure is the getting there,
Mm-hmm.
the living there.
Because when I put this hunt
Experiencing
together
those
for
people.
my buddies, I told them, like, listen, I want an extreme hunt. Like, we can go to Greenland and hunt them in 60-degree weather.
Yeah.
We can go to Alaska or up in Nunavut where we're going and hunt them in September.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to hunt them in March when like, you know, and I'm really big on making sure my gear's sound. And so I froze my arrows, and I'd take them out of the freezer and I'd shoot them.
Yeah.
I put my bow outside when it's like 20 degrees that winter, and I'd hang it on my bow hanger outside, get up in the morning and shoot a frozen arrow out of it. Because if it's going to break, I want it to break in my backyard.
Yeah.
That's
I
not
don't
something I would
want-
have ever thought about.
I don't want it to
Yeah.
break up there. And the rule of thumb up there is don't let it thaw. So once you get up there in that environment, don't put your bow inside. Don't put it into a warming hut. Don't put it,
Just
because
because of all that.
the freeze
movement.
thaw, the
Yeah.
expansion of moisture and all that
Yeah.
stuff,
Probably even your tips, right? Like your
Everything.
broadheads, like
everything.
that freeze thaw on
Just
those arrows.
leave
Yeah.
it frozen.
Once it freezes, let
Yeah.
it be.
Yeah. And so I wanted to make sure my bow was going to perform, because I make my own equipment,
Yeah.
Right.
and I'm pretty good at making bows, but I don't know if I'm good at making
A frozen bow.
yeah, like
Yeah.
Arctic expedition bows,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Like so, and so I carried a backup with me the whole time, just
Yeah.
in case. Is all broken down in his case. But that hunt was like I don't know how you get ready for it, right? Like I
Right.
wanted to test my boots and my clothing, but where do you do that at? Like I wanted to like call Safeway and be like, "Hey, can I go hang out in your freezer for an
For like
hour?"
12
Yeah.
hours. Yeah.
Right? Like you'll be that creepy guy in the news. But they yeah, that hunt was an adventure.
Yeah.
Like it took 4 or 5 planes to get there.
Yeah.
Saw animals I've never seen before in an environment that just I think about it every winter. I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I went 2, 3 years ago. I ended up shooting an absolute monster bull.
Yeah.
It was number 9 in the world of all time.
Okay.
Like it was. I just received an award for it at the Pope and Young convention.
Awesome.
It was the number 1. It took first place in this recording period. Well up in the books. But I tell you what, I didn't do anything special for that animal. It's not like I had a whitetail that I've been watching all summer and waiting for the wind to be right, and I go in there when the barometric pressure is just perfect, and he's going to be coming from the east, and I didn't figure him out. I didn't have like a water hole with antelope with a big gnarly buck on it, and I just waited and passed up 7 different bucks
Yeah.
waiting for that big one. I just happened to shoot the closest muskox that was standing in front of me,
Okay.
and it turned out to be one of the biggest ever. You know what I mean? And so I want to honor the animal,
Yeah.
not the hunter. My name's in the record book next to it because no one would know it's mine or which one it is, right? And I've always said, man, it'd be great if we could take the hunters' names out of the record book, but then there would be no record books,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It'd just be a list of animals that were cool.
Yeah.
And so, that animal is special to me because of, where they live. There's
Yeah.
so much. Like I talk about,
What do they? There's nothing to eat out there. What are they doing
yeah,
out there?
and so their metabolism slows down to the point of almost like a black bear when it's hibernating,
Really? Yeah.
or a bear in general when it's
Mhm. Yeah.
hibernating. Um, their their skin is the thickest skin of any animal in North America, and their fat content was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
The meat is exceptional. It's like they're like wild cows.
Yeah.
It's an ox,
Yeah.
but man, the nitrogen in the tundra that they eat, it makes it has like an acidic effect, and their meat breaks down. It's real dark with marbleization through. It's just
Yeah.
if it wasn't so expensive and such an extreme,
Yeah.
I'd shoot a muskox every year just
Every year.
just for the meat. I say the same thing about moose. I shot a cow moose. I'm like, man, I wish I could shoot one a year.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
That's
Yeah.
the same for me. Like, and
Yeah.
I've kind of given up on the Colorado moose just because for 2 reasons. It's like, maybe I get lucky and draw it, but also in Colorado, you can draw a cow like
Mhm.
every 3 to 5 years.
Yeah,
And I'd almost rather have the meat every 3 to 5 years
yeah. I hear you.
and go shoot a moose in Alaska or Canada or something like that or anywhere else. But like the meat, it's weird. Like I'm like, the meat is so good.
It is.
For the next 20 years, I'd almost rather just have
Yeah.
a moose every 3 to 5 if
I
I
know.
could. It sounds crazy.
I'm with you on
And
that.
it's still it's the same hunt. It's
Mhm.
just as fun,
Mhm.
Ultimately. And
I'm with you. The moose, these animals, everybody talks about like steroids and non-organic and all that stuff. I'm like, this is as free range
it's
as
as
you can
good as it
get,
gets.
Yeah.
Dude.
right? Right. And so, like self reliance,
Yeah. Yes.
just sustainable living and eating that way, man, is as close as we can get.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, as society, we're soft,
Yeah.
and so packing out a bunch of meat on your back and bringing it home and cutting it up on the kitchen table and providing a meal for your family.
Yeah.
That stuff doesn't happen a whole lot like it used to,
Yeah.
in the 60s and 70s, especially in the Midwest. That's just a way of life.
Yep.
Out here in a little bit more liberal setting in Colorado,
Yeah.
it's a
Yep.
little bit harder to see, there's certain people at work or, in social settings or stuff. You kind of got to watch what you say because,
A little bit.
oh, you you know?
Yeah.
And now I just try to educate people.
Yeah.
Now instead of, I'm not trying to be a jerk about it, but, I just remind them that their great great grandpa is probably really, really disappointed in the way they turned out
Yeah.
because, without hunting, there's no life.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, our great ancestors had to keep, you know,
Yep.
we're hunters and
Yep.
gatherers.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
Yep.
that's a lot of nuts and salad
And
to eat to
it's funny how much
sustain.
like it's dumb, but like some whatever my best tasting animal is that year, I'll tend to give a lot of it away.
Mm,
So I'm trying to like,
mhm.
convince people this is a good idea, this is great, and I'll end up eating all the junk. Like if I have a muley that doesn't taste that
Sure,
good,
sure,
like
sure.
that's what I feed myself with because it's like the moose. If somebody says, "Oh, I'd love to try some," it's like, okay, I'm gonna give you a little bit of that moose. Or like this year's bowl is delicious, and so I'm excited to share some of that. But I always end up sharing all my favorite cuts because I'm always trying to get people convinced that this is you know what I mean?
That
The,
makes
the
sense.
joy of having that
Yeah.
that. But it's fun. It's funny because right now we're at the phase of life in our home where shot a couple animals this year, so I've taken everything out of the back of the freezer, and so now all the stuff that's the front is like mystery meat. So like we had this delicious stew the other night, and my wife's like, I was like, "What was this?" Because it's amazing, and she's like, "It just had stew meat on it," and I'm going like, "I think it's bear." You know what I mean? Just judging by the texture and the
Yeah.
flavor, I'm like, "I'm pretty sure this is bear," but it turned out so good. But it's funny. I'm working my way through like all the old like that one like chunk of summer sausage I forgot about in the back of the freezer. So I'm like, I'm just like a dumpster right now, feeding
Yeah.
myself all the old kind of stuff that the family just tends not to like to eat. And, so every breakfast there's been a couple I've had to choke down a little bit here, but out of respect, right? I'm like, I will not eat this. I don't care what it tastes like. I'm going to force this into myself and I'll enjoy it.
One of my
You'll
favorite
just
hunting
live.
shirts is it just says "Eat what you kill."
Yeah.
That's all it says. At the CBA, there's a group of guys, the hunt, lift, eat
Okay.
guys. Have you seen those guys?
No, but I dig everything about it.
Yeah, so they're I've been on their podcast before. They always have a booth at the CBA. Real cool apparel, cool
Yeah.
hats, cool. I should have wore one today, but it just says hunt, lift, eat. That's it. No
Yeah.
week in the wild. Eat what you kill. That's kind of their moniker.
Yeah.
And you know that, that's important to me. I tell everybody all the time. I mean, it's one of the things I say to everyone. My kids, they've heard this 1,000 times. I'm like, listen, um, when there's a thunderstorm, there's a hailing like crazy out in Fort Morgan or in Wellington. Where do the antelope go? They don't get to go into their car. They
Mm-mm.
don't get to run inside and wait for the
No.
storm.
Yeah.
They just lay down and take it.
Yeah.
When we're at an office Christmas party, having some cocktails and acting immature, the deer and the elk are pawing through the snow, still trying to survive. Because we're
Yeah.
hunters. We're hunters a couple months out of the year,
Right.
but
Yep.
they are full time survivalists,
Yeah.
right? It's always hunting season to them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so they're always playing the wind. They're always checking travel routes and escape routes and living the way that they live to survive every day.
Yeah.
Those animals deserve respect. And one of the one of the things has worked on anti-hunters hasn't completely changed their mind, but they've shown respect when I'm like, look, you see horns and trophies on the wall, okay? But I shot that deer 20 years ago
Yeah.
and he's still alive.
Yeah.
Every time I tell the story, every time someone reads my book, I got a book that I write a story about every animal, whether it's a world record sheep
Yeah.
or a backyard whitetail doe. They get the same story, the same picture, the same write up. And a lot of guys that come over, I'm a Pope and Young measurer, so I measure a lot of animals. And so people come over and thumb through my book when
Yeah.
I'm measuring stuff. I'm like, every one of those animals is still alive.
Mhm.
You drive by a whitetail that was hit on the highway,
Yeah.
you just look at it and keep
Yeah.
driving. No one was there to hold its hoof.
Yeah.
No one's there to take its meat. No one was there to harvest it. No one has a memory of that animal.
Right.
But the one on my wall, whether we ate tenderloins last night or I'm telling the story to someone that wants to know about it, that
Yeah.
animal's still alive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Um, that seems to get a little respect from the anti-hunting movement,
Right.
um, just because, a lot of these animals die of sickness, get hit on the road,
Oh yeah.
at least I made a memory, I made a story out of this one
Yeah.
and harvested it for what it's worth, hide, horns, meat,
Yes.
right? And, people don't realize that, myself, you guys like you, we're not murderers, we're hunters. And I'll
No.
tell you what, I'd rather put hay in in a snow-covered field for all the deer to survive this winter,
Yeah.
and then I wanna shoot one next fall.
Yeah.
Just give me one, but let's save them all.
It's an interesting relationship that I think is, I don't even know if I understand it entirely all the time, and selfishly I do it because it's just good for my heart,
Mhm.
and I think so many men actually need that time. I think men it would really serve their mental health side to go out and hunt once in a while. Just not maybe as much as we all tend to, but if they could just get themselves 6 days in the woods to watch the bird's nest or to
Yeah, man.
watch the hawk fly by,
Yeah.
um, just how much you would find that you come back and go, I want to be a better father, right? That time to reflect and that time just to be
Yeah.
quiet.
Being out in the woods and hunting like that is therapeutic, man. Like I said, like, you're fighting with your brother or something, all of a sudden you're sitting with nothing but your own thoughts.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it doesn't really matter that much,
Yep.
maybe a fight with your wife or something kids at school or whatever, or he's like, gosh, I'm gonna sign up for that Spartan race that I've been telling everybody I've been doing for a while. I
Yeah.
don't know, you get all these thoughts in your head that you normally wouldn't think about. And
Well, I think the definitely one thought I always have is I'm fat. I need to work out harder.
that's what you think.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the mountain will remind you that like
Oh yeah.
maybe off season needs to be a little more intense, buddy.
Yeah,
And for me, like I pretended to be an athlete for a lot of years, and really hunting was the thing that filled that gap for me, right?
Sure.
So do you need one of those?
no, I'm good. Thanks.
All right, good. I saw you kind of
Yeah, no,
tasty.
that's how I
Yeah.
used to cut weight in wrestling.
Yeah. Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So but no, for me, it took the place of a reason to train,
Yeah.
right? Because I don't know. It gave me some purpose. So like those what is it? Did you say it's hunt, lift, eat, or
Yeah.
eat
Mhm.
something like that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's exactly right. Like, um, I think just purpose, right? I think that a lot of athletes, I heard somebody say once, like, anytime your past is greater than your future, you're dead.
Hmm.
And hunting when I retired from that was the thing that took the place of, okay, what's something that has um a very low chance of success? Like I'm probably gonna fail,
Yeah.
right? It's gonna push me way beyond what I wanted to push.
Yeah.
And just something I can get up in the morning when my feet hit the ground, I go, I've got some purpose here, right? And it added personal. Like when you have kids, kids or a wife or a family and work, those tend to consume most of our purpose of our life. But it is nice to have that thing where it's just me.
Yeah.
It's sort of a solo mission. Tyrell can't do the work for me. You can't do the work for me. You can drop me all the pins in the world, but I still got to get
Mhm.
myself to him, right?
Mhm.
And I love that part of and then the mental health side of being in the woods and just being up there and having that quiet time, because I always come back thinking to myself, like, I want to be better at this with my son.
Yeah.
I'm going to be better at this with my wife, or I'm going to show up better as a brother in this way, or as a man, a friend in a community of like, I need to serve my community better,
Yeah.
or whatever. And like you do a great example of that with the CBA and everything you do there with volunteering and giving back. That takes a ton of time, man. It takes a ton of commitment.
Yeah.
Of your personal time, things you could be doing otherwise
Mhm.
for yourself. And
Mhm.
um but I think the woods, they give us that, and they also give us a great community. I think they gave a great community of men and women that it's a common thing, it's a common goal, but it's really not about killing anything. We do the same thing here on Wednesday nights. We do sort of a lift, we call it like a ruck lift shoot, where we do just a group of guys. It doesn't matter, not even like some of them don't even hunt. They just want to come be around, the guys that are doing something hard.
That's cool.
And so we do just a quick mile lap with the ruck. If
Mhm.
whatever weight, I don't care. We have 4 or 5 extra packs when the guys come. And, sometimes there's 6 of us, sometimes there's 8, 10 of us, sometimes there's 2 of us, and the right guy always shows up, right?
Yeah.
It's like whoever's supposed to be here will be here. So we ruck, we get a little bit of a 20-minute workout in, and then we shoot the bows in the
That's
backyard
cool.
here. you know, and it's so often. I mean, I had a guy that's a good friend showed up. It was just him one day, and it was funny because we're rucking and we're talking, and we kind of get in. His marriage was just in the shits, just complete shits, you know. So we ruck, we lift, and when we're shooting, he finally opens up that he's like, "I'm so glad you were here. I really needed this today." And he
Yeah.
lives 40 minutes from here, you know, but he drove all the way here
Sure.
just knowing that he needed that group of guys to walk with, you know. And we're so bad at, I think, you know, women, they do a good job of going to have a cup of coffee, or they go to dinner and they talk about their feelings or whatever. But I've always said, like, you know, a blind or a boat, you know,
Yeah.
or, you know, sit in a tree stand next to a buddy, or on the side of a mountain next to somebody. That's where we tend to sit sort of side by side. And it might take a 6-day hunt for those things to come out, you know, and for a guy to share like, "Hey, I've been really struggling, man." You know?
There's a brotherhood that goes along with it. You know what I'm saying?
It's one of the
100%.
most special brotherhoods I've ever been a part of. It's amazing.
It's a brotherhood. Like, you can, you know, there's some guys that hunt deer in their backyard every year, and that's just what they hunt.
Yeah.
And there's other guys that go all over the country like me and just chase everything. Like, if I could hunt butterflies, I would.
I saw that quote.
You know,
I've got a lot of friends that are that way too.
I
And it's
am,
like,
man. It's just like,
yeah,
you know, if there's a honeybee season, I'd figure it out, right? I don't know when they rut.
yeah,
But
they're always
but
running, baby.
we'll find the honeybee rut migration something.
Yeah,
But you know, there's just a brotherhood. You know, I don't know. A lot of it gets passed down from generations, like grandpas and fathers and stuff. I've met a lot of guys that, you know, I've had kids come shoot in my backyard, that were part of like the youth group, and you know, they're raised by two moms.
Yeah.
And they don't have a man's, you know, they don't have any type of idol to look up to, or someone that can kind of show them. Like, there's no mentor for these kids.
Yeah.
And so the brotherhood goes a long way with kids like that, you know, because some of the guys that are hunt, they also play football.
Yeah.
They lift, or they MMA, or they're you know, I play hockey, you know.
It
like,
tends to be a very alpha male type of thing.
But with hunting, it's like a homegrown roots type of, like, it's almost like a nostalgia to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It has to be handed to you. You know, it's really, I've said it, and I'm going to say it 100 more times on this podcast, because that's the truth of what we're talking about. Is like, the beauty of it is it has to be given to you. And then the joy of getting to give it down, or even up. You know, I have guys that are older that they've always wanted to, but they're afraid to ask the question of, like, man, I've always really wanted to go. Just a doe. It's not even about it's just about going and collecting food and spending time in the woods and getting to kind of help somebody do that. And I tell you, this community is the best in the way that without knowing you very well, I know that if somebody said, I have nothing, but every piece of me wants to go in those woods and hunt something, you would give them everything they needed.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, come to my garage. Here's
I've
a
done
list,
that.
and bring it back when you're done, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just the very best feeling to go. And I've got a couple guys right now that it's just this back and forth. He's sending me pictures of his grandpa's knife. You know what I mean? Is this going to work? And I was like, that's the absolute best knife you could ever carry, is the one that your grandpa used to skin something with. Keep it sharp. It'll work just fine for you.
In Colorado, we have 10 species. And so the CBA developed a big 8. Big 8 native species, and then the 9 and the 10 are the introduced species.
Will you just walk me through that real quick so we know what they are?
So the big 8 are the native. So it's whitetail and mule deer, elk, antelope, sheep and goat, and then bear and mountain lion. Okay. So those are the native 8.
Okay.
I was the second youngest to get the big 8. And then when I shot my moose, I was the youngest ever to get the big 9. Okay. And so
were moose introduced to Colorado?
Yes, moose, and then the 10th species, the desert bighorn.
Okay, yeah.
I took great pride in getting the big 8 and then the big 9, because there's a versatility. You know, you don't hunt bears the same way you hunt antelope. You don't hunt whitetails the same way you hunt mountain lion, right? And so you get a lot of guys, myself included. I'll get guys like, hey man, I heard you're a hunter. Hey, check out this deer I shot. Hey, check out this deer I shot. Hey, check out this deer I shot. And you find out that they live on their grandpa's ranch up in Carter Lake. And every November he shoots one off the porch. Well,
yeah,
that's awesome. Good for you, bud.
Yeah.
Okay. Now take this bow and go get an antelope, and then a goat, and then a moose, and then a bear, right? And so
An antelope, especially Tyrel.
Yeah.
And I have failed for years trying to. It's just
Yeah, we're 4 years.
4 years,
4 years
of just
into it,
getting our
5 years.
ass handed
Sure.
us. I mean, it's just. It's
But
God, they are hard to hunt.
everyone's got that species that's hard for them. Mine was elk. But the what you were saying, how you're reminded, the mountains remind you every year that you're out of shape.
Yes.
You know, there's nothing better motivation than drawing a tag that you won't get next year. Like that sheep tag, that goat tag, that moose tag. I've had them all. And every time it shows up in the mail, you're like, oh yeah, you're pumped up. You're great. Yeah, awesome. Call everybody. Hey, I'm going to shoot a monster. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be the great year.
Yeah.
That tag shows up in the mail and it's got your name on it. It's not a deer tag. It's not an elk tag,
No.
right? Because the mistakes you make this year, we'll just learn from and do next year.
Yeah, you'll do it again next year.
Right.
Over the
You know,
counter.
I'm going to get an elk next year because I screwed up this year. Or, oh, this deer got away from me. He'll be big next year anyways, blah, blah, blah. But when you have a sheep tag that's taken you 15 years to draw,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, it's really easy to put a pack on your back at the gym and walk the treadmill for 10 miles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real easy to all of a sudden lose that weight you said you're going to weigh, or upgrade those binoculars that you've always wanted to, or hey, I'm really going to find the best hiking boot for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's fun to give yourself a reason to take it to the next level.
The stakes are higher. And that's, and it's the same, I think for a new guy, that first whitetail, as long as it's not off your back porch,
Sure.
the stakes are high then,
Absolutely.
but I think that's why we continue to chase those other species or
Mhm.
something different, is because
Mhm.
you want to keep pushing yourself. I think that we want to chase that thing that feels a little bit impossible,
Mhm.
right? So that for you, I'm assuming at some point you went, okay, what else is going to get me to go, like, this scares me? And so you tell a buddy, this is what I'm after. And it's just enough to scare you so that you wake up in the morning and go, I've got to go
Yeah.
hard.
Mine was my sheep tag. I drew my sheep tag at a young age. And everyone told me, hire an outfitter.
Yeah.
Use a compound. If you're not going to use a rifle, use a compound.
For God's sakes, man.
Like you're gonna, yeah.
Give
like,
yourself at least 60.
Yeah, like you drew a tag that everybody wants,
Mhm.
And you're just gonna piss it away with your cute little wooden
stick bow,
bow.
yeah.
You're up there with it, like a feather in my cap, like an Indian. Whatever they think I'm doing out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just motivating. Like, man, thanks. That's all. All you needed to say was that I wasn't gonna get one.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you. Thank
just
you.
it. Like, just absolutely. And that's one of my biggest motivators. Like,
I-
tell me I can't. I dare you say it.
It's just the way I'm wired. Like, when I was fighting, is like I never really felt like I was gonna fight till I got punched in the face. Like,
Right.
It's all theatrics and you're just thinking about it until you get those, like, you see those stars and you kind of get the fuzzy nose.
Yep.
You're like, oh my gosh, I forgot that this was real. I'm
No,
like, here we
man,
go, right?
Yeah.
And that sheep tag was, the sheep tag, goat tag, moose tag. I put myself in a really tough coos deer.
Dude, I saw you.
down in
You have
Mexico.
2 coos deer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which
Yeah.
seeing them, let alone killing them, is
Oh, man, guys, they're hard. They're hard. They're hard to hunt. It takes a lot of mental preparation. Like, that was a hunt that had a, I think it's 17% success rate for a
Right.
rifle.
right.
And I went down there, never even been to New Mexico before. Found a spot. I did most of my scouting on Onyx,
Yeah.
before I could get down there, just because I was chomping at the bit to go. I don't know, man. I'm with you. I want it to be hard. I want it to be hard because
Yeah.
it's just better that way. My kids, same way. We hunt turkeys every spring, and we've seen a lot of arrows go through feathers, right?
Yeah.
And then they go back to school on Monday, and all their friends shot one in the head with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, hey man, you chose to handicap yourself. You want to shoot? You want to take a shotgun this weekend? We can go.
Yeah.
We'll go get a turkey with a shotgun. If you want to show a
Guaranteed.
picture to your friends at recess and show them that you're a good hunter too,
Yeah.
but they can't do what you can do.
Yeah.
You give them that recurve, they won't get one. I give you a shotgun, you'll probably get one.
Yeah.
Right. And so just, I mean, there's a romance to the way we hunt because we have a relationship with our bow.
For sure.
I've carried my bow a million miles and never even needed to. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, think
Yeah.
about that. How many miles are you just hiking with this heavy thing in your hand, right?
Yes.
Like, why? Why?
Yeah.
I spent all elk season. I never even pulled back. I never even put an arrow on the string. Why did I
arrow out of the
carry?
quiver?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. But I tell her, I mean, you're hunting 50 hours for 5 seconds of perfect. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
Or a month. You know, how many times you're filling up at 3 a.m. on the gas station? How many times you're trying to get get out of work on time or early, or coming up with some sob story about how, cough, cough, I can't come in today.
Yeah.
All the things we do just to put ourselves in position.
Right.
And the truth is, the animal has to make a mistake for us to get one, right?
Yes.
If the animals could shoot back at us, I don't think we'd hunt very much.
We would not.
Right?
No.
Because they're smarter than us. They're better than us, man.
Yeah.
That's a full-time animal, and we're part-time hunters.
Yeah.
That's what I'm reminded of every time.
And just in my mind, that how much exponentially harder it is. You think about, just even for me, like a compound bow getting within, say, 60 yards of something versus, with a rifle. I've never felt buck fever. I've never felt anything with a rifle.
Sure.
You're excited.
Yeah.
But it's really more just like take a deep breath, slow, pull, tick, it's gone. Compound, harder, but compared to getting within 15, that difference between 60 yards and 15 yards might as well be eternity.
I love it.
It is. Now, I'll say, of the bulls I've shot, a lot of them have been within that 15-yard range.
Yeah.
Weirdly, like, I've been out here, 80 yards, 90 yards, just thinking, okay, the bull's head's down, he's feeding, I'm going to draw back and just ease through it and pull. The reality is, most of the time especially in Colorado, you're in dark timber where you're in there, you're with them, and I'm not saying I would have killed them with a stick bow, but you just end up going, like, you actually end up a lot closer than you think you can a lot of times,
Well, it's like if I hand you a softball and I said, okay, hit this animal in the side of the rib cage with a softball.
Right.
Yeah, you can throw it 80 yards. You can throw it 50 yards.
Yeah.
You might hit it in the butt.
Probably
right?
Not, but yeah.
But you only get about 10 yards away.
Yeah.
And smash him in the rib cage with it, right?
Yep.
Like, the way I know I'm handicapped, and I love it. Like, the ones that got away, the ones that were at 60 yards or 45 yards.
Yeah.
Like, the trophy room in my house is great, but the ones that just got away or were just out, or the ones that I didn't get, man, that trophy room is so much more impressive.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I really like the ones that fell to my arrows because it worked out that day. And I've shot animals at 40 yards in my recurve. It's something that I practice. I practice at 40 yards, so I shoot better at 20.
Sure.
But at 40, you end up getting to a cadence. You end up putting arrows in a pie plate. You end up saying, okay, if the situation presented itself and the animal's standing, not moving, not walking, not feeding, it's standing, it's stationary, doesn't know I'm there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can make that shot. I've done it 4 or 5 times. I've shot that bull elk in Montana. I just know them all intimately, so I can tell you it's number 106, number 106th animal I've taken with my bow. And I can tell you what underwear I was wearing on number 23, or what I had for breakfast on number 37, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just such an intimate way of connecting with that hunt and the animal, I forget people's names all the time, or I forget when it's trash day.
Yeah.
But I can tell you exactly what I had in my pack the morning of this, or when this happened, and especially for first, everybody remembers their first, right? And so I've taken a bunch of animals, 15 species in North America now, a lot of animals with bow. I've had some success. Okay. I'm not patting myself on the back.
Yeah,
I'm going somewhere with this I've been with a lot of people when they got their first anything, first antelope, first rabbit, first squirrel, first deer, first record book animal, whatever it is, their first. You only get your first once. You can only do it once, right? And so, like, we make a big deal out of it. Like, I love when someone asks me to take them hunting and they've never got one before, or their grandpa took them with a shotgun when they were little and they kind of lost it, blah, blah, blah. Or, I mean,
Right.
it's so fun to put a bow in someone's hand. It's like, here, follow me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's cool. It's cool. Now you get some other people that you don't care if they shoot something or not. They're in it for the wrong reasons, blah, 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 and they'll vet themselves out.
How do you balance that? Because like that thing I've kind of gone through over the years of that balance of obviously this, like, on one hand, success is only harvesting an animal, and on the other hand, success is just leaving the truck with a bow in your hand for
Sure.
6 days, 7 days,
Mhm.
and kind of balancing both those mentalities of like
Mhm.
giving it enough weight, putting the pressure on yourself, knowing that's what you want ultimately, but then also not taking away, like you said, from the small things. And just, I think it takes time. I think it takes experience in the woods to really kind of bring those two things together. Cause you'll
Yeah.
see young guys and they'll go, I failed this year. There's a failure. I can't, you know what I mean? And I go, did you really, or did you, you won on one hand. Yes, you didn't accomplish the thing, that purpose, but like, how have you kind of worked through? Cause you've already touched on it, but like pulling those two things together and going, keeping the pressure on yourself, not just going out there and going, hey, whatever happens, happens. It's fine.
Yeah.
But
A lot of it depends on how you define a success.
right.
If your season was a failure because you didn't punch your tag, you're gonna have a lot of failed seasons.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Especially,
You know what I mean?
yeah, especially the recurve. I mean,
Yeah.
if that's how you define success, just go get a
Like-
rifle and
Like my dad
pay your
shot
money.
1,000 animals in his life, and whenever we take the boys, my sons, he'll always give up the best spot or the one. Hey, there's a lot of deer coming in this stand. Put Tyson in there.
Yeah.
It's becoming more about the memories and like just still doing it with everyone
Yeah.
than it is about. I mean, I used to, man, when I was younger, it was all about getting the animal
Yeah.
and and it's not about that anymore.
Yeah.
So it's just how you define success. Let's say, you want to hunt with your grandpa and this might be his last hunt. Like he's just not, or this doesn't work out. I know a lot of guys, soldiers deployed overseas and they miss out on 10, 15 years of hunting with their family. And
Yeah.
now they can't wait to just go hunt rabbits in the backyard on Thanksgiving with their dad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or their uncle. Right. So that's success to me. Right. Um, I my theory's definitely changed on that because I used to be one of those like gotta get them, gotta get. Oh, my season was terrible. I didn't shoot nothing.
Yeah.
It didn't take me long to realize that I was missing it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I had a buddy, we were fishing, we were floating the river, and he asked kind of like, what's your bucket list hunt? And it took, cause I didn't have a right out. I'd always said just an Alaskan moose, just because. But I think now the more I thought about it, I was like, it's really more about who's with me on that hunt for me at this point.
Yeah.
Well, that depends on who's with me because
Mhm.
that could make it a bucket list. Like my bucket list would be like getting Tyrel his first bull with a bow.
That'd be cool.
Like that's currently one of my, if I could be there, I've been there for
Yeah.
a
We
nice
tried.
bull ducked a string on him, which I've never seen, but freaking he did.
They're
You know what I
amazing
mean?
Animals.
Just like dropped and churned. You're like,
Yeah.
that thing moved quick.
Mhm.
And he was fired up. I mean, he knew we were there. It was not perfect, right? I mean, but nonetheless, like I think for me, that's really more what it's getting to be like. I have a friend who is kind of my hunting mentor. His son has a rifle bull tag starting first season rifle. And for me, that's my number one hunt of the year right now.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We've been twice, we've got skunked.
Mhm.
And so it's like, that's for me. It's like, who are we with?
Mhm.
Getting the hugs and the celebrations and the tears with the people I'm with now is really, and I should, I mean, I've done very little in the hunting world really comparatively, but I don't know why it's kind of gone from that for me to going like, who can I go adventure with? Who can I share those memories with and that time in camp and that just getting to be a little kid in the woods. I think that's what it is for me. It's just getting to be.
I think it's hard, like with that, this year was like really trying to get back into just enjoying the little things. Like this is success. The monkey on the back is like, it's going to happen. Like if I keep putting myself in these situations and, this year is closer and closer and, but it's hard to, not let that monkey really build, right? You talked about slaying your dragon, right? And it's like that first one, it's like, but is the success the getting to tell you like, hey, I did it finally, or the success is there every time I'm up, and
Yeah.
people that are putting in the effort to help me with that.
You know what's interesting about that is that we're talking about taking the most out of success, what we think success is, and we talk about how to work in your mind that it was successful even though you didn't punch a tag. I think it's just as important when you are successful to act right. When I was called up on stage, I won Bow Hunter of the Year
Yeah.
last year. Didn't know that I was going to win. Just because I know the criteria to even be nominated is extensive, and the fact that I was even nominated was mind blowing to me. Then I won, completely humbled and very honored. But when I got up on stage, I didn't know what to say,
Mm-hmm.
and now all eyes on me, and I just went to this place of like, you know what? I said my thing. I said my thanks. But at the end, I said, you know, everyone in this room is going to go hunting next fall. You only get to touch that animal the first time, one time, right?
Right.
And when you walk up to it alone. Shut off your GoPro. Don't start thinking about what it's going to score. Don't be high fiving your buddies and doing all that like that 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 clown stuff.
Yes.
You know, wipe the blood away. Stick his
Stick his
tongue in his
back in
mouth.
mouth.
You know, no beer cans in the back. No, you know, oh, I'm here with my pro staffer. I use this
Yeah.
rest. Listen, this is this animal's funeral. You're the only one at his funeral right now. This is where he is laying for the last time. He's been all over these hills his whole life, whether it's 4 or 5 years, 6 years, don't know how old he is, but this is where his final resting place is. Wipe the sticks off of him, brush away the leaves, put your hand on his hide, and just tell him thank you. Like there's sorrow.
Absolutely.
It's not just jubilation. It's not just celebration. Like we took a life. And so I say, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for being a part of me forever. Thank you for showing my sons. I get to show my son how to gut a deer now. I get to put meat on their backs, you know, like this is what I've been telling them for all these years. The guys, hey, we got one.
Yeah.
This is what happens now.
Yeah.
Take a nice picture, you know, like memorialize the moment, but show respect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's guys that buy a bow at Shields, and in 2 weeks they can shoot better than I've ever shot. The compound just does that for you.
Yeah.
Right.
It does.
And those guys go hunting and hey, they stumble into an elk and they shoot it. Now what?
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have a knife?
Yeah.
You don't have game bags? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get through this, but I want you at my kitchen table next week and we're going to discuss this because you came up here so unprepared.
Right.
You know, what did you think was going to happen? You killed an animal. You shot a sharp arrow at it. You're not ready for the after.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really important that when we are successful that we act right. Let alone what you guys are talking about, which I love your message. It's a great message of defining success and taking out of it what you can get out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's admirable. I appreciate what you guys are preaching because not very many people do that, man.
Right.
And it gets lost.
Yeah.
Because eventually those little kids I talk about in those blinds asking about the squirrels and the bird pooping in his own water, they turn into men who see antlers on the cover of magazines.
Yep.
Or their buddy has a huge elk down the road and they want one just like it.
There's always a
you know
bigger
what I'm
elk,
saying?
dude. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Always.
And, but we all lose that little boy with all the questions.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree. And it's, you know, hunting's one of those only things where I think you have to bring that up because it's anything else you can have, if it's a financial thing or it's in the weight room or whatever, it's pretty easy to say, okay, I want X, Y, and Z to be success. And you can check those boxes pretty much every year. This is one where you very good chance you're going to leave that box unchecked, you know, but you still have to get up. You should, I think, get up every day and prepare for it, right? If you set it out as a goal, I think you should be getting up every day for the majority of the year and putting, if it's a bow, you're putting a couple arrows, if it's 3, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Right. And so, but it's such an interesting thought process to go like, and I don't want to turn anybody away from it. You know, I just think that it's just, if that's your only goal, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
And actually, if that's your only goal, even if you are
Mhm.
successful, you failed,
Mhm.
right? Because you
Mhm.
missed the point.
Yeah. But
Right.
he's never got one before,
No.
and I bet he's chomping at the bit. Just
Oh, yeah.
cannot wait to finally put his hands
On his bull.
on his bull, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so it motivates you to keep going. But what's great about hunting is that when you do make that happen, you'll never forget it, and he's gonna be there for you, and you're
Yeah.
gonna just be on cloud 9.
Crying. I'll
Yep.
be crying like
And
a
then
baby.
next year, your fire's more.
Yes.
Like, you wanna do it again. You wanna bring someone that's never got theirs before, or hell with it, you wanna shoot one bigger,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Like, there's so much, like, it just it grows. It
Yeah.
never, like, as soon as you start, it doesn't fade. It just gets stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. Like, hunting just does that to people.
Yeah. And just learning the woods, learning your craft, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, right now it's I'm so proud of just like how close I was able to get this year.
Yeah.
And it was like,
And you did a bunch of solo
man,
days
last
this
year I just like I never would have like I'll never get that close or I'll never understand. And then it just things click. So, there was so much just success and just the failure. Ultimately, I failed it at some point in there, right? But got so close and made some things happen. And then to sit back in pride of that, just like, oh yeah, we made that happen. We came up with a plan. We went through it, and
So it's gonna be really easy for you to feel successful, right?
Yeah.
Like, when you don't have the success of notching your tag and bringing meat home, you're gonna find the little things, right?
Yep.
That are motivating and keep you going. But the main objective is like, man, I really want to put my hands on a bull, right? And what's awesome is that his body language changed when he was talking about your hunt. He was telling me about his stuff, but when he was talking about you,
Yep.
his voice, the deflection in his voice was different. His body language changed because that's real. Like, that's
Yeah.
real. He wants to be there when you get when you get to do that, right?
Yep.
Because as much as it's a big deal for you, it's a big deal for him. And when you have kids that hunt, like, you want them to experience everything you've experienced. Like, my kids will probably never go to the North Pole hunting the muskox just because the times and the money and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But man, I wish I could put them on that sled with me to like feel that cold,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, just that cold.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you think you're cold? Like, I can walk around shirtless at a high school football game and not even worry about it now because that's not cold.
Yeah.
Right? I've been cold
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I want them to feel that stuff, and he just wants you to like look at. I don't care if it's a spike or a raghorn bull or a
Yep.
370-inch monster. That's the brotherhood I'm talking about right there.
Yeah.
That's the brotherhood. The fact you guys are brothers doesn't matter. He could be your next door neighbor.
Yeah.
The brotherhood is just like, oh, I really want him to feel what I felt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he ends up being your goal. I mean, I shot a bull this year, but I wasn't trying, right? My goal is I had shot a bull the 2 years
Yeah.
previous. And so I was like, I had done one of my dearest hunting friends and his buddy. And so I'm getting them set up and I'm so excited for like, oh, this bull's coming in. We're gonna, and that was the goal this year.
Yeah.
Is just like, God, I want them to shoot something so
Oh,
bad. I would rather
yeah.
have had them or him shot,
Oh yeah.
something. It's just, it is where it's at, but I can't, like for Tyrel, I mean, you hope you're there at the right time in the woods with him at the, but I might not be, but gosh darn. And it's funny this time of year when you're not in the woods anymore. And when they're out there and I'm not with them, it's like, I'll be drinking coffee, watching that sunrise. And I'm just like, I'm there with them, with all of my buddies, whether they're hunting a turkey or a deer. It's like every morning I'm thinking about like which one of my buddies is in the woods right now. I know Colin's out there chasing an antelope, or I know Tyrell's chasing elk. And it's just, as the sun's coming up, there's like that time where when it's sun's setting again, you're like, I wonder if they're sitting on the hillside. I wonder if he's got anything in the binos. Are they moving? Are they calling? It's just, this is my favorite time of year in that way, just daydreaming about what everybody else is doing if I'm not out.
This year was pretty fun. So where just building that Rolodex of people. And so it was like every day someone was out doing something.
Yeah.
So kind of checking in.
And then the pictures don't get sent.
Just waiting
around.
to see what's coming in. So that was a really cool this year with like the tribe out and just everybody, I'm home this week, but multiple people are out. And that was really.
I got a buddy in Iowa. He always sends me a selfie from his tree stand.
Yeah.
And I'll follow it up with a selfie from my tree stand.
Yeah.
Because he's like, well, good luck, and he's an hour ahead of me. So his picture's usually an hour ahead of me because the sun's coming up. And so he'll send me a picture. I'll send him one back. And same thing with my dad. Like, I'll go on hunts that my dad can't go on. And he'll text me and be like, I'm there with you. You just can't see me.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that just all ties into the brotherhood, man. There's
Yeah.
nothing else I can think of like that. Like,
No, not at all.
you know, some people are into NASCAR, some people are into, I don't know, lawn maintenance, right?
Yep.
Whatever it
Yep.
is. For whatever reason, hunting brings out like the best qualities in your friends, the
Yes.
best qualities in your family members. Like there's no fighting. There's no like it's just like it's just camaraderie.
Yeah.
It's just a community partnership. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's I felt so lucky to find it, and just that like you said, the tribe of men, and women that are out there that
Mhm.
you can just, it's just fun. It's fun to have something to share on, a common goal. Um, it's been a huge blessing in my life. It's why we're here, right? It's like why we are doing the Ruckless project,
Yeah.
help people get the right gear they need to get out in the woods, because I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, that's a gap we can fill.
Yeah.
You know, like help them just give a little knowledge, right? Just a little cheat sheet. It's like when you look in a mechanic's toolbox, right? And you go, can I take a peek in there and just see
Sure.
what tools and why you carry
Yeah.
what you carry,
Mhm.
right? And so that's been a fun part. That's how we got here. And luckily, like, our job became getting to have these conversations, right? And so
This has been a good
we've
conversation,
got
man.
the easiest job in the world right now.
I've really enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah.
Most times I'm on podcasts and people ask me like, what's the hardest species? What's your most memorable hunt?
Yeah.
What dangerous situations you've been in? People ask me about, you know, I've shot 15 species. So people ask me about every single
Let's go through the
one.
list.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
And this has been more about like the brotherhood, like I've said a
Yeah.
bunch of times, bow hunting, the success and how we kind of, you know, adjust it
Yeah. Because
based on our own needs.
you've got to
Yeah.
kind of make right with that.
Yeah, these are the conversations we should be having on these podcasts because you know there's a lot of you know talking about scores and
Yeah,
and
well,
antlers and
yeah.
trophies and all that stuff. And you know I'd rather I want some 14-year-old kid listening to this
Yes.
to be like, hey mom, you know, can we go to Shields this weekend?
Yep.
You know, like
Yep.
that's what I want to.
Yep.
That's what I want to get out of this. This has been a great conversation, and what you guys are doing is awesome.
Thanks,
It's an
man.
absolute blast, man. And thank you. It's been yeah, it's been a fun journey, and that's really what we want to dig in on, is just kind of more the heart of why we're
Mhm.
doing it, right? And how to support other guys getting out there and doing it. And so yeah, man, it's good. So man, we
I
could
think
talk.
like that bull is a good example, right?
Oh.
Of like kind of putting him the centerpiece, and like, you know, you've told the story a couple times, but just like, you know, you didn't get to harvest him
Mm.
when you were supposed to, and
Is that yours?
he's
that you
not there as
you
a
found later?
trophy.
Yeah, I call him Lost Bull. Yeah. Yeah. And I actually wrote an article in the CBA or
Okay.
in the magazine there about it. But yeah, at 8 yards, you know, I thought he was gonna come out at 30, came out at 8. And I'd always
All your pins were on the side of him at once.
yes. And I had always said, just cover him in pins.
Yeah.
And just shoot. You're gonna kill him.
Yeah.
But the reality was that your 20-yard pin is actually up there in no man's land.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had been shooting more like
Sure.
you shoot and
Yeah.
going drill a hole,
Yeah.
you know, but I didn't. I pulled back, just settled in, boom, you know what I mean? And then didn't find him.
Yeah.
And then the next year hunting that same area on a different mountainside, just hiking through the woods in the middle of nothing, stumble on this deadhead. And I thought to myself, like, that looks like my bull from last year.
Was your arrow still in?
Yeah, so the arrow's sitting right there on the top of his antlers. And I wouldn't have found the arrow, I don't think, except for I bent over to look at him and my knee pushed on the ground and the arrow,
Unbelievable.
like, dude, I get chills just thinking, like, it
yeah.
like looked right at me, and
Yeah.
I'm like, look down, so I'm here, and I look like
Oh.
just I happened to put my knee in that one
Mhm.
place where my arrow would
Mhm.
pop up.
And see what I'm saying? That bull's still alive right now on this
Yeah.
on this sofa.
Absolutely.
That bull's still running around.
100%.
Yep. And it's just, for me, it's the best reminder of just how hard it is. That's why he gets to
Yeah.
hang here and not the other
Beautiful
bulls.
bull too.
Yeah, he's a beautiful bull. I
Purple
like
6
just
by
how he's
6.
just
Oh, yeah.
dirty,
Oh yeah.
you know, and it just shows like they're so much tougher than we are. And
Oh yeah.
and we tracked him, you know how it is, like,
Mhm.
till I was finding like
Mhm.
the rub of blood on a log where his
Mhm.
leg touched it, and then he went
Mhm.
through a big kind of swamp and just wiped him clean. So, but it's just a reminder for me, you know. It's like tend to do the same thing. Like if you see like I have I don't know, what do you call the things that I get at a track meet with my name on them?
Oh, bibs.
My bibs.
Oh
they're
yeah.
they're really more failure reminders in the weight room, you know. And
Yeah.
people maybe look cool. It's Olympic
Yeah.
trials this, Olympic
Sure.
trials that, and it's like I didn't make it, you don't see any Olympic bibs up there anywhere. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I'm a sick bastard in the way I tend to hang up my failures in the places where I'm going to do my work, because it just goes like, do something hard. You're probably going to fail, but do it anyway. And I would still go on that hunt even if I knew I was going to fail.
Mhm.
Right. But you always remind yourself, like, could I have prepared better? Right. Could I have visualized more? Could I have hiked another mile? Could I have, shot 10 more arrows? And so then you build up this kind of catalog of ways to train, ways I should have trained better, ways I could have been more prepared. Right. And so that's kind of what this tends to be for me is that reminder of failure, reminder how hard it is.
I know we're short on time, but I'll leave you with this. The moment, I always talk about the moment with my hunting buddies all the time. When an animal's coming in, when that bull is, you thought he was going to be 30, and then he turns, and now he's going to be 8 yards. This moment that's about to happen is going to stay with you forever, whether you're successful or not. You're either
I
going
can still see the muscles flexing in his left front shoulder.
Here he comes. Whether you don't even shoot,
Yeah.
whether you miss him or you get him, it's going to stay with you forever. So, in the next 2 seconds, something's going to happen to you that you know is never going to leave. You're either going to look at those horns and eat those steaks and just retell the story forever,
Yeah.
or it's going to be a story of sorrow and regret and remorse that you're going to tell everyone about the one that got away.
Oh yeah.
But regardless, there's nothing you can do about it. Regardless, every step that bull takes, every time he gets closer,
Yeah.
that's never going to leave. You're going to talk about that bull forever. It's going to be a success story or not. And what's cool about this bull is that you got both.
I did.
You did.
You got a year of telling the story of the one that got away and how you messed up and how you just blah, 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 right?
Yep.
And a year later, here he is. Now your story's just changed a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But it's still the same story. When he was walking in at 8 yards, before you let that arrow go, you're committed.
Oh yeah.
This is going to be a lifetime memory for Brian Trainer right now, forever.
Yeah.
And it's really cool that you have the horns to show it, because not very many people. I did it too. I did it, but it was a week apart. I shot a bull, knew there was a killing shot, but man, I couldn't. I had tears in my eyes.
Yeah.
I could not find that bull.
Yeah.
And I looked.
That is the worst.
I looked for
feeling
2 days
in the world.
and then I had to go back to work. And then I didn't even plan to hunt the rest of the season, but I went back, 5-hour drive, hiked up in that basin, and I found him. The birds found him.
Yeah. Yep.
And I cut his head off, put my tag on him.
Yep.
And I felt bad because I never got to enjoy the meat. I never got to have the animal.
Yep.
Because the meat's just as important as the horns, right? And I'm cutting his head off like I'm going to put his horns on the wall. But look at this 800-pound animal sitting here rotting.
Yeah.
But it fed the coyotes, it fed the birds. You
I'm
know
sure
what I'm
stuff
saying?
had already
like,
been eaten on it.
yeah,
quite a bit.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But there's a circle of life involved. But again, you got both sides of the story on that one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
It's crazy.
That's a good one.
It's absolutely crazy. And just to think about being, I don't know, there's a connection, there's something bigger than us out there for sure. I think we all are aware of that if you spend any time in the woods, and just that idea of like you're walking a whole mountain away.
Yeah.
And you run into him, like not on a trail, just a random. I chased another bull into these woods.
Yeah.
Lost him. And I'm walking out with my head down and then stumble, and you just go, that was supposed to happen.
Absolutely.
He was, me and him
and
were
you
supposed to
found
be
it.
together.
Not him found it, him found it. Someone called you and said, hey, I found it. No, you walked up and you pushed that arrow up with your knee.
Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome.
Same serial number on that arrow that I had in my quiver still the next year.
Crazy.
Isn't that amazing?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, man.
Yeah. It's always hard to wrap up the conversations, I guess, but we look at the clock and we go, that's 2 hours.
Yeah. If you guys ever want to have me back and do some stories, I got some real cool stories. Not just about me, but I like to tell a story about hunting in general, not just about Joe.
Sweet.
And so I don't want to make it about me, but I do got some cool stories. If you ever want to get into like the nuts and bolts, some adventure stuff, some
technical stuff and some things that can help some people.
Yeah, for sure.
As they get out. Absolutely. We'll love it. I love a good conversation. This is a good spot for it. And so we'll do it again. But Joe, thank you. Thanks for coming on the FOC podcast. You get what the name's about.
Yeah.
I mean, just it's nothing flies very well if it doesn't have some weight front of center, but we also don't move very well if our weight's not front of center.
That's
so
right.
that's the idea for me.
Yeah.
And Tyrel here is just like, you got to be leaning in if you're going to make any progress.
I like
right.
it.
And so that's the whole point of this is
I love it.
helping these people, men and women out there.
Yeah.
Lean in a little bit, do something scary,
Yeah.
maybe even something that feels impossible. Right. So thanks for coming on today. Tyrel, anything last kind of minute that we need to kind of get out there for listeners?
Dude, I don't got anything. Thank you, man. Thank you for the time. You're a real steward of the craft, and
Thanks.
you can, that just radiates, and it's, jacks you up. It makes you want to do something to be better. Right. And to go and, enjoy the small things, reflect, see it. Cause there's a lot of people who don't get to just sit there and find that bird nest.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true, man. Thanks for saying that.
Yeah, I really appreciate you, man.
Cool.
Nice. Well, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you in the next one.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.